Hello, everybody. James Free Time here. How you doing? Good. I'm glad. You won't believe how many times I've done this take. I've done it like near 10 or 20 times. It's like this video doesn't want to be made. Anyway, if you remember back 7 months ago, I wanted to completely axe E out of my life, get rid of the torture. So I went with Smarty, and it also came with this ZTE MiFi device with its little blinks and blobs and such going on. So how's my experience been with Smarty since 7 months ago? Well, out the box, it's been great. No issues until now, to be honest. But it's been great out of the box. It's worked as it's supposed to. And because it's my main driver, this down here, I have to go with this device, which is a D-Link right there. So you may be wondering, why is there a SIM card on the back if it's so good, Smarty? Well, if you catch me up on my Instagram, you will notice that I had to switch providers just for now. Only because the 3 signal sucks. Smarty's been great. Smarty wasn't the problem. It was 3 Mobile that was the problem. So I need to emphasize that very quickly, that it wasn't Smarty's fault that the signal was bad. They were just piggybacking on 3's signal, and it's been atrocious since November, and they still haven't fixed it. So for a long time, I was using this for a while, giving them a chance, hoping that the signal would improve. It didn't. It was like 1 bar, 2 bar. It was unbelievable. But my Smarty experience has been great. £20 for unlimited data, you can't go wrong. So you may be wondering, this is working, right? So what SIM card have you got in there? Well, I got this one, Lebara. Now, straight out of the box, I wouldn't recommend Lebara. It uses Vodafone, and Vodafone I've had so many bad issues with, and a lot of people have. That's why we nickname it Vodacrap, because it's terrible. It's terrible, overpriced, and my experience was quite bad with it in the past. Including one occasion where I topped up my phone back in the 90s and they took my credit after 1 week, even though I didn't use it. And then, not forgetting, my direct debits failed, and put into Maya that my direct debit had money in it at the time, and the direct debit system didn't work properly with Vodacrap, so they kept turning my service off and giving me threatening messages saying, pay now so your services can go back on, even though the direct debit was fine. Lloyds has had no problem with direct debit, so I have no idea why Vodafone can't even figure that little thing out. It makes me wonder why they're still a company. But anyway, it's pretty good. On the back, you can actually see all the services you can get with it. And as I said, I wouldn't recommend this for a couple of reasons. Not just because it's using Vodafone, but it's expensive. £5 extra gives you unlimited data. So 25 quid for unlimited data, and put into Maya that Smarty gives you unlimited for 20 quid. giffgaff is another fucking rip-off as well. Don't go with them. 35 quid for unlimited data. Unlimited. Ridiculous, right? So, I was going to go with giffgaff, but then I realised this was more cheaper, and I thought I'll go with this. And Vodafone signal is not bad. It's just not very good at direct debits. Or money in that respect. So I went with this, thinking, yeah, all right, fair enough. Vodafone will go with that, and Lebara is. I used to use Lebara back in the day, back in the heyday of my career with mobile phones. I used to use Lebara, and it wasn't too bad from what I remember. And the reason I went off it was because of other reasons. I can't remember back that long. If you see any flicker on screens, because I'm watching Freeview, and I've put it on mute. But anyway, 25 quid, not bad. I wouldn't recommend the 30 quid one, because apparently you only get 30 gigs, even though it says here, look, unlimited. But that's bollocks. So I've gone for 25 quid option, which is still unlimited, but international calls and that I don't really give a crap about. So save 5 quid there. As I said, giffgaff, abandon it. It's rubbish from what I can tell. It uses O2 signal, but O2's okay. It's just the money scenario is ridiculous. Like 35 quid for unlimited data. Come on. And they don't even do unlimited on actual O2, from what I know, unless it's really expensive and I've just bypassed it. But anyway, Labara, not too bad. The problem I had with this when I first got it was the fact that the top-up scenario, I thought automatically the SIM card would have the 30 quid I spent on it. Now you may be wondering, hang on, 25 quid you spent, you just said. Yes, that's because I thought I would go for the unlimited for 30 quid. Thank God I didn't, because 30 gigs only. What the fuck, honestly. So I went for the 25 quid one instead. But anyway, it was a long process to get this thing working. It really was. So credit to Smarty. You just press buttons, blah, blah, blah. It goes through. It takes about an hour to get through. And then your data is on the go. With this, I had so many problems to start with. I put the SIM card in. It took about 15 minutes to activate. I expected it 2 hours or whatever anyway, because I remember that back then. And I thought it was just as simple as, oh, it's already gone through, whatever. And I started using it, and then it said my data allowance was low, so I had to have no choice but to see what was going on. And it turns out, because it's been so long since I've topped up by phone, I forgot you've got to use a voucher to top it up, which I have got the voucher for that I paid for, which was the 30 quid. So, passing that story short, I did that. I put the 30 quid on, and off it goes, and then I was like looking on the data plans on the app, which was not the greatest navigation I've ever seen in my life, and it was asking for a credit card, which is odd because I used the top-up method. Surely it should have worked that way. It should be a button saying use the top-up method, but it doesn't. So I had to go through an absolute chaos, ringing up tech support, or not tech support, the support line, which was a guy that didn't understand any English, didn't know what I was talking about, very arrogant, hated the guy, really hated it. I had to get it over and done with, but he still did nothing. He was one of these people that pretended that he fixed it, and he didn't. So I had to figure out myself how to do it all. And then eventually I figured out that you've got to text that you want unlimited. So I had to go. It was such a pain. And then, so you have to text R1 to R8 of what selections you want. And I was looking at this thinking, what's all this R stuff? And then it turns out you have to text them. So thank God this was on there, because, eventually I figured out I've got to text R7 to get it going. And lo and behold, we got the service going. So I wouldn't recommend Labara, really. I wouldn't recommend it at all. Because it was such a faff just doing it. I like the old method the new method of pressing buttons and there you go, your service is on. But apparently you've got to text R1, R2, R3, whatever, to whatever service you want. Eventually we got it going, so at least we got that going. But yeah, Labara, just be a little bit skeptical, and remember you have to text them to get the service going if you've topped up by voucher. If you want to do it another way, you could pay it online. I wish I did pay it online now. It would have been much easier if I paid it online, because then I could just put 25 in instead of 30 and be left with £4 left on my credit. Anyway, long story short, we got it going, and it was such a pain. And I'm sorry this is a long ass story, but you get my point. And I'm sorry that my phone's interrupting. Yeah, so in order to get it going, you have to do all this R stuff on a text. And for a long time I was like, oh god, so that means now I've got to take the SIM card out of the MiFi device and put it in my mobile and text them this way, because I don't believe that the MiFi device does it. Of course it bloody does it. After a long story, I managed to text R7 and we got the service going. But what an absolute faff. Can't just press 2 buttons and off you go. Not as simple as that. But I guess next time I use direct debit, and then I will consider doing the R7 text, and that should hopefully do it next time. But as an absolute backup, that's the reason I would get this. And yeah, this is going to be used as a backup now, and the Smarty SIM card will be used for obviously the regular use. But yeah, back to the Smarty experience. I really hope they get their signal fixed, because this was an absolute train wreck to try and get some internet going from my device. So, but apart from that, it wasn't Smarty's fault. It was the fault of 3Mobile. 3Mobile are gits when it comes to signal. They always keep messing with the tower blocks and all that sort of stuff. So, but apart from that, Smarty, great service when I had it. Always had 3 or 4 bars of signal in this place, which is very, very difficult to get. But now all of a sudden it's gone to 1 bar because of the stupid 3 mobile problem. But apart from that, it's not. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant little thing. £20 for unlimited data. And I've been considering this for a long time to change my Tesco mobile to Smarty, because for a very lower price I can get the same deal and unlimited calls, by the way, instead of a set amount of minutes just to make a call. So lessons are learnt. If you ever get this and you're stuck, that's the reason why it's so difficult, because you've got the text R7 for the 25 quid unlimited deal, R5 for like the 20 quid 10 gigabyte deal and all that sort of thing. Just read the back more often and it will get you there. But I had no idea what these R's mean, and it got me in a panic yesterday getting this working. But that's the reason, and that's my adventure over Lebara. I wouldn't recommend Lebara, but I would recommend it as a backup, because for 5 extra quid it's unlimited and it's not bad compared to giffgaff, which is 35 fucking pounds, which I'm not going to pay 35 fucking pounds. You can get fucking screwed, giffgaff. And eventually they'll do all sorts of deals and such and make me look like an idiot. But at the end of the day, with this, it's just £25 for unlimited. So I recommend this, but I don't recommend this if at the same time, because it's such a faff and tech support was so bad. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and hopefully in my next video I won't have people interrupting me. Take care all. Have a nice Christmas.